Unforgettable programs with them wherever they go. As a subscriber, you can also listen live at airtime, online, anywhere in the world, or browse through our archives of over 6,000 hours of legendary broadcasts. Subscribe now by taking the link at the top of Rense.com and enrich your mind with the most unique panorama of vital information and the best independent, honest journalism in radio. Look for the Subscribe Now link on Rense.com and give yourself the knowledge you need for these unprecedented times. You're listening to the Rense Radio Network, nationwide.
This is True News Headlines. I'm Greg Moore. About 200 Central American children who are part of a wave of minors entering the United States illegally will be sheltered at a camp near Dallas. They'll join about 800 others already temporarily housed in the area. The children, mostly from Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador, will be housed in the coming days at a camp in Somervell County. That's about 80 miles southwest of Dallas. 2 other camps opened this month in Texas and 1 in California. After a surge of unaccompanied children subsided in the last half of 2014, the number apprehended along the southwest border has been increasing in recent weeks. The children, typically fleeing gang violence and economic hardship at home, can spend up to 21 days at a campsite waiting for a relative to sponsor their release. Immigration officials said that after crossing into the United States, many of the children seek out U.S. officials and request political asylum. This is True News.
You've spent a lifetime preparing for your retirement, so how can you make secure financial decisions for your IRA or 401k? Cornerstone Asset Metals provides a pathway for you to a retirement fund that is backed up with the security and confidence that comes with commodities such as gold and silver. The good people at Cornerstone can provide information on how you can transfer your current 401k or IRA into a precious metals IRA. There is no cost or obligation to find out more information. Just mention the promo code TrueNews and all of your transfer and setup fees are waived. That's a value of over $200 just for mentioning the promo code TrueNews. Cornerstone Asset Metals provides a toll-free number for more information. Call 1-888-747-3309. That's 1-888-747-3309. Professionals are standing by right now to answer your questions regarding the Precious Metals IRA at 1-888-747-3309.
San Bernardino shooters Syed Farouk and Tashfeen Malik first met in person and became engaged during the 2013 Hajj pilgrimage in Mecca. That's according to a statement Farouk made as part of Malik's official visa application. In a separate part of Malik's immigration file, Malik answered no to questions about her background and activities, including whether she had ever received weapons training or engaged in, quote, terrorist activity. The questions were included as part of a U.S. permanent residence application used by the Department of Homeland Security's Immigration Unit. The suspect is in custody today. One person's been wounded after shots rang out during a robbery attempt at a crowded shopping mall in Long Island, New York. The incident causing chaos at the Roosevelt Field Mall in Garden City. One mall employee was shot and taken to a local hospital. The suspect was believed to have fired a gun after trying to rob one of the mall stores. This is True News.
I'm Rick Wiles, host of True News. On True News, you'll hear news and interviews about the New World Order, Agenda 2030, surveillance and biometric technology, implanted microchips, artificial intelligence, genetically modified food, and much more. Listen to True News weekdays on Sirius XM 131 at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. For more information about the program, go to TrueNews.com. That's TruNews, TrueNews.com.
In Pennsylvania, a teenager has been indicted after investigators say he tried to help individuals travel to the Middle East to join Islamic State. Jaleel Aziz of Harrisburg is 19 years of age. He was indicted by a federal grand jury in Scranton on charges of conspiring and attempting to provide material support to the terrorist group. When Aziz was arrested on Thursday of last week, prosecutors said he had used at least 57 Twitter accounts to advocate violence against Americans, disseminate ISIS propaganda, and post the names of U.S. military members that he said should be targeted. Aziz is set to appear in a Harrisburg court on Wednesday for a detention hearing and an arraignment. In Fort Smith, Arkansas, a couple wearing traditional Muslim attire was escorted out of the Central Mall by police on Saturday after they were allegedly breaking mall policies by videotaping inside the mall. Police say the couple, Alan Crawford and Daphne Ridenour of Muldrow, were breaking the mall's code of conduct policy, which bans videoing inside the mall without approval from management. Crawford and Ridenour claimed they were being racially profiled. The couple drawing attention walking down the hall by the food court when Crawford used his phone to videotape the entrances of stores. A number of mall goers reported the couple to police and mall security. For more news, views, and information, log on to our website, truenews.com. That's TRUNEWS.com. I'm Greg Moore.
Scientists in England have succeeded in stabilizing the time-honored substance in garlic that destroys harmful bacteria, viruses, molds, yeast, and fungus. This all-natural microbe killer is called Allicin C, and it's now available to you in 100% vegetarian capsules only on the New Earth page at rense.com. This powerful broad-spectrum antimicrobial agent is harmless to friendly bacteria and has been concentrated to equal an astonishing 35 cloves of garlic in each vegetarian capsule. Think about it. The antibacterial, antiviral strength of 35 odorless cloves of garlic in just one capsule. Allicin C is so effective it even destroys superbug MRSA in test after test. Allicin C is truly an incredible advance in natural medicine, and with the threats of bacterial and viral diseases and pandemics growing, no home should be without it. Learn more and order Allicin C on the New Earth page at rense.com.
Frosty Wooldridge joins us tonight. Frosty, I don't know how many years he's been at it now, but he's been on this program a long time. We began talking about the illegal alien invasion from Latin America. There is another angle to that now, which you all know. It's the illegal Muslim invasion being propagated by the commander-in-chief personally. And then there is the hidden and unknown, not talked about invasion of a whole lot of Asian illegals who have surpassed the Latino immigrant influx by a factor of 2 to 1, or very close to it. It's quite a story. It's completely out of control. There is no control. No control is actually wanted. They want this to deteriorate to the point where we do have open race war, and we'll have it. We'll have it any time they want to kick it off. Frosty, welcome back, and Merry Christmas to you.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff, and Merry Christmas to each and every listener across the globe. This is a time of hopefully renewal and hope. And I think most of you know, if you've gone to my Facebook page, especially my Facebook page that's the fun page, much like the Rinse adventure columns that I write, How to Live a Life of Adventure, The Art of Exploring the World, I always put in exciting, fun things, and I'm a fun guy. I mean, I have in fact, just last Friday I was skiing 15 inches of powder off 12,000 feet at Winter Park, Colorado, and I took 3 headers as I just drove my knees into this 24-inch powder clumps, and boy, I just click, and I was flying through the air with a soft landing, of course, but I have a great fun life and have a fun time and laugh a lot and so forth and so on.
Well, there are a lot of people out there who don't like that, Frosty, and they want to take it all away.
Well, they certainly are going to be doing a pretty good job of that. And hopefully you all have listened to Jeff Rense, and you've read a lot of my columns on rense.com. And the last two are particularly compelling, as you just said, as far as the Asian illegal immigration invasion. And I wrote a piece, rinse.com, it's just in the last week, America losing her ethos, why Donald Trump rises. And, of course, the last one, which is getting really national attention, is what would America be like without Muslims? And that's also on rinse.com. And I really run over the fact that this country would be infinitely better off without any Muslims in this country because multiculturalism doesn't work. We don't believe in
it's admitted even by Angela Merkel, who is using it to try to destroy the very country she allegedly governs. I mean, it's crazy. Multiculturalism is the biggest lie probably of our lifetime in terms of international statesmanship. It's just been a con, the whole thing.
Well, it really is a con, and the biggest con of all is the people who are pushing it, because whether it's a Hillary Clinton or whether it's a Bill Clinton or whether it's a Paul Ryan or
he's a snake. Oh, he's bad.
He is quite the snake. And you look at all of these people that are pushing all this multiculturalism on the American people, and it's not working. It's creating incredible violence. Obviously, you and I have described this now.
We haven't seen anything yet, friend, and you know it. And a lot of you listening know it. And a lot of it's being already covered up. We just don't hear. It's like how they cover up black on white crime. They may mention the name of the perpetrator, but they don't mention race. It's just not relevant to the liberal media. Same thing with the Muslim.
That's exactly right. And you and I have talked about the kind of violence that's headed this way. And amazingly, after 9/11, the borders they're just as open today as they were on 9/11, and the same kind of immigration policy is still in play that allowed San Bernardino, the same immigration policy that occurred with the Chattanooga, Tennessee murders, the Fort Hood murders, the de facto Sharia law now being implemented in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and certainly in Detroit, Michigan, places like Fremont, California, and also right there in New York City. And most people, when you read the facts, you're astounded. I mean, I've gotten just literally hundreds of emails responding to my latest one on what if there were no Muslims in America. And people are just blown away by the fact that there's 500,000 women in our country that are Muslims who've had female genital mutilation, committed on them, and literally this is a forced operation to cut out the sexual being of women. And there's 500,000 women in this country who have faced and suffered this horribly barbaric operation, used with no anesthetic, used with glass and or razor blades. And, of course, it's unbelievable if I went into the description of it, but I won't. To take away a woman's ability to enjoy intimacy, to take away her right to her own body. And that's now 500,000 of those operations have gone on in the United States.
I can't believe it. I cannot. I just can't. I mean, I believe it, but I can't believe it. Here we are in the year 2015, Frosty, and they're butchering their own kind like this.
Yep. Oh yeah. And I've sourced that story so that if you want to look it up, there's one thing. You look up everything I talk about on all my columns. This stuff is researched, and you sit there and your jaw drops. When you sit there and see the kind of violence that's every day. And it was, as Marco Polo said that, he said way back in the 1800s, whenever Marco Polo was doing what he was doing, he said, the moderate Muslim holds the feet of the victim while the radical Muslim cuts off their heads. And you sit there and you think of the 10,000 honor killings every year of Muslim women by their husbands or brothers, and then you find out the reasons for it, like wearing a pair of jeans or standing up and speaking her mind.
Yeah, a little makeup, whatever.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And so again, with this continued invasion, San Bernardino. I mean, this guy was making Sid Farouk and his wife Matash Malik, I guess her name was. He was making $70,000 a year. He had a child.
70
grand a year.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby. I mean, I don't make 70,000. I've never made 70,000 a year, and I'm just a strictly middle class, American, and so you're astounded that he could work with one of those. The one guy that was interviewed went into the bathroom, which was the only reason he had to go to the bathroom, and he was saved. His life was saved because when they came in and sprayed the room, the guy was actually sitting next to him, from what he's told on the news, and left, for no reason. And of course, the reason is to go get all the firearms and all the pipe bombs and all the ammunition, and then come back in and slaughter people he'd worked with. And we've talked about this. The Quran calls.
This was a Christian Christmas party too.
Right, and he was part of it.
Yeah.
And these were disabled teachers of disabled students.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I have been teaching with the National Sports Center for the Disabled at Winter Park, Colorado, for 24 years. I've worked with MD and MS and CP and MD. I've worked with TBI. I've worked with single, double, triple, quadruple amputees. I've worked with blind, and worked with them to get them out on the slopes and teach them how to enjoy the great sport of skiing, being led down the mountain if they're blind, being harnessed in a bi-ski or monoski if they are unable to ski regularly. We also have 3-track skis for those who have amputee, one leg amputee, and so forth. And these people are struggling with their lives as much as they can, and they're coming up and doing and living lives as abundantly as they can. And for this guy, Sid Farouk, for him to go in there and kill all of these men and women who were helping all of these people who have handicaps and they're disabled, that just
doesn't get any lower. No.
It takes your breath away, because what it takes to work with handicapped, disabled people is a lot of heart.
Very special people. Yeah.
Incredible kindness.
Yeah.
And these two went in there and just mercilessly, and it shows you the commandments of the Quran, and that's what the Quran commands. Their Allah, that God, is a vindictive, barbaric God, and they follow that God with unbelievable mayhem. And we're going to see more of that in this country, because, again, we're importing all of these Muslims into this country. We're looking at another 200,000 Syrian Muslims with all the unvetted jihadists that are going to come in there with them. And so
you saw the lost count of 9,400 of the 100,000 that are in here who had acknowledged radicalized ties. They're missing. They can't find them. The government, the feds, they're missing. They've disappeared into the Muslim substructure, and they're out there.
All right, and they're going to manifest. And somebody, you or I, it could be you or me. I swear to gosh, I now am very. I'm sitting here, and I don't want to go down to any of the malls because I don't care for them anyway. But I don't want to get into big public situations, because this is where these maniacs are blowing people up. And isn't that a tragedy in our own country, led by our own leaders, led by this president, who is, of course, truly not the president of the United States.
You can repeat that. Led by this president. Led by. He is leading this. All right?
And he is now an admitted Muslim at the G20 climate change conference. He absolutely admitted to being a Muslim. And that goes on the heels of the 2007 interview with George Stephanopoulos on ABC, when he said, my Muslim feelings, or I forget what he said exactly.
Yeah.
My Muslim beliefs.
I've seen the clip. I know.
Yeah, the clip. He admitted it back then, and then George Stephanopoulos said, "Don't you mean Christian?" But you have to understand, in the Quran, you can lie all you want to further Islam, and I've got quote after quote in that latest piece showing you how the Quran directs its adherents to overcome host countries, and Corcoran there at Refugee Settlement Watch.wordpress.com.
She's doing a really good job.
Holy catfish. She's doing a fantastic. I would highly recommend anyone to go to that, because they will then see exactly how fast this thing is screaming.
Give us the
across
URL
the
again, Frosty.
Yeah, it's Refugee Resettlement Watch.wordpress.com. And if you go to my columns at Rinse.com, you'll see her 4-minute video, and it's called Hijra. Hijra is the main spelling, and it's called seeding. And what it means is seeding the host countries with Muslims to the point where they start outbreeding the host country, and then they start getting into positions of power in the host country. And in fact, Valerie Jarrett, who is one of the main
Obama's closest advisor.
She said in 1977 that she was going to use the U.S. Constitution against itself in order to perform and literally create more Islam in America using the Constitution
she's a Muslim.
Against itself.
She supposedly converted
right.
years ago.
Oh, let me give you the quote. You're going to love this.
Yeah.
This is in the yearbook from Stanford University, California, 1977. Valerie Jarrett. I am an Iranian by birth and my Islamic faith. I'm also an American citizen, and I seek to help change America to be a more Islamic country. My faith guides me, and I feel like it is going well in the transition of using freedom of religion in America against itself. That is a direct quote from the yearbook.
37 years ago.
She said that correct, 1977. And she's well on her way. She's the senior advisor to Barack Obama and assistant to the president of Public Engagement and Intergovernmental Affairs of Obama administration. And let me tell you, and you can go on Facebook to see this. And I wrote back, let's have a tolerance for Charlie Hebdo Muslim slaughter in Paris, France. Let's have more tolerance for the Fort Hood Muslim slaughter, the Boston Marathon Muslim slaughter, and, of course, the San Bernardino Muslim slaughter, and the next Muslim slaughter as we import more of these people into our country. How about another 9/11 Muslim slaughter to generate more tolerance for Muslims? I got to tell you, I'm an American citizen. This is my country. I am tired of this tolerance stuff. I'm certainly tired of pretending and being politically correct to see my country being literally raked over the coals by this very barbaric religion.
Oh, it's being dismembered.
We're being dismembered as a country, and I got to say, if we continue on this course, there will be civil war in America.
No question.
There will be a religious conflict unending. There will be more crime. There will be more welfare. There will be more conflict in schools.
I don't think somehow the Latino illegals are going to convert to Islam. The blacks are easy pickings. Inner city blacks, disaffected, directionless, without any identity. They're easy to pick up. So they got a lot of recruiting here.
Well, they do. And again, all the disaffected, they feel like they have been disparaged against or whatever. They are the ones, whether they're in prison or whether they're in the ghettos or whatever, they're the easy pickings because they're being promised this new group, this new gang, to join it and then become a part of it. And that's exactly why you have all these, the Crips and the Bloods. And
well, they're just not educated at all, most of them.
That's unfortunately
and
very
so
true.
Easy to be impressed. God, with it's they change their names to Islamic names, and it's exactly as you say, Frosty. Here's Here's a little clip from the opening of a video I'll rerun tonight. It's called The Great Deception, New World Order, and the Muslim Brotherhood. And it's very interesting. Let me give you a couple of minutes of this.
For decades now, the Ikhwan, or the Muslim Brotherhood, have operated secretly behind the scenes in America. Their influence reaches from the halls of academia, to Hollywood and the media, even to law enforcement, and to the highest levels of political power.
Their dream is the creation of an Islamic state. Their utopia is having the law be Sharia. So their strategy in America, I believe, is to use America's freedoms and liberties in order to achieve that dream.
If they want to place their real agenda on the table and say this is what we stand for, then they're welcome in the political arena. Let them debate the caliphate in the American political system.
Lying is permitted when it serves their purpose, he
Now
said.
that the United States government has acknowledged formally resuming contact with Egypt's Muslim Brotherhood, how much do we really know about the shadowy organization's activities here in the U.S.?
Jihad in America, the grand deception.
Muslim Brotherhood is an international movement, the goal of which is to create an Islamic state universally, all over the world. The Muslim Brotherhood operates in various countries around the world. And as we learned in the course of our investigation and our work, the United States was one of those.
The Muslim Brotherhood started in 1928 by the founder, Imam Hassan al-Banna. May Allah be pleased with his soul. The environment where Hassan al-Banna was born, there was colonization of British troops in Egypt. There was a touch of westernization going on in the society with liberalism, and there was a sort of westernization. So he wanted to bring people back to Islamic values.
The Muslim Brotherhood had twin strategies. The first strategy is its public face, which is a political organization with charitable organizations.
They hide behind charity.
But the core of the organization and the master plan of the organization is a sense of world domination. Their ambition is limitless.
All right, there's some text up here, then I get back to discussing it. It's a very powerful, hour-long video, and well worth your time if you have time to watch it. The Muslim Brotherhood motto, God is our... Geez, I can't read it, sorry. God is our... It looks like... Oh, God is our goal. The Prophet is our leader. The Quran is our constitution. Jihad is our way. Death in the service of God is the highest of our wishes. God is great. God is great. Okay.
Yeah,
it's all there, Frosty. I mean, you've put it in your columns. It's the Americans really at this point, sadly, they're captive of a corrupt media that is not going to tell them the truth until it's too late.
Well, it's true. And let me just bring another quote in here, and this is on my Facebook page. And I really want everyone listening, go to my Facebook page, Frosty Wooldridge, at any time. I can only get 2 columns a week at rinse.com, which are going to really bring you the information that you need to understand how fast this thing is overcoming our country and Europe and Canada and certainly Australia. But this is from Omar Ahmed, the chairman of the Board of CARE. That's the Council on American Islamic Relations. He said, and I quote, this is a verifiable quote, Islam isn't in America to be equal to any other faith, but to become dominant. The Quran should be the highest authority in America, and Islam the only accepted religion on earth, unquote. That has been said by the biggest dude in the United States at CAIR, C-A-I-R. These people are not messing around. They are literally coming for our country, and they are using our Constitution against us, and if allowed to continue, they will succeed.
Be right back with Frosty after this short timeout, so stay there. Hi, this is Jeff Renson. I've never been much of a tea drinker until I was sent a sample of Life Change Tea. I actually didn't even brew it for several weeks after receiving it because I'm so busy. But then one day, some months ago, I had a feeling I might be missing out on something very special with this tea, and so I went down and made up a batch. And I haven't stopped drinking it since. Life Change Tea is a unique blend of natural herbs that gently gets rid of toxins, parasites, unwanted bacteria, chemicals, molds, and yeast. I mix mine in organic lemonade, but it tastes great no matter how you drink it. And how it makes you feel is even better. Life Change Tea is all natural and completely organic. You're invited to visit getthetea.com and browse through the many testimonials about this unique product. You can also order it online right now at getthetea.com. Or you can call directly at 928-308-0408, extension 2, and tell them I sent you. Getthetea.com, that's getthetea.com.
You're listening to Jeff nationwide and worldwide on the internet on the Rense Radio Network.
If you've been listening to this program for any length of time, you'll know that Fukushima, the greatest calamity in history, has now, as I've been warning since 3/11, killed off virtually the whole North Pacific Ocean and especially up and down the entire West Coast. The radiation is migrating inland and is moving across the entire country. There's only one proven defender to radiation exposure, the brilliant Chernobyl-proven discovery of Dr. Michael Kiriak, which combines the 4 most potent and powerful algae on the planet, imported to the U.S. and known as bio-superfood. I've taken bio-superfood every day for several years now and want you to do the same for your sake and the health and safety of your family and loved ones. Take the banner at the top of Rense.com and prepare to learn how to save your life.
There are 3 factors that determine the rate at which your body will repair itself. 1 is the amount of growth factors in your system. 2 is the amount and quality of complete proteins in your diet. And 3 is the health of your liver. After age 28, your ability to repair declines by 10% each passing decade. So by age 40, it has declined by 12%. By age 50, 22%. And by age 70, it has declined 42%. Advances in nutritional science enable you to overcome this rate of deterioration. Synergy 1 is a powerful product that activates your body's ability to repair. Within 1 month of usage, 96% of people report that they sleep better, have more energy, a better mood, need less food, and feel stronger. Many people have reported back, joint, and muscle pain going away. Women have reported hot flashes going away, and both genders have reported losses of body fat and a return of their sex drives. Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit sgn80.com. That's sgn80.com.
Okay, back with Frosty. Frosty, when you've been out, the little you have you seen any Christmas? Any signs of Christmas? Have you seen happy people? Have you heard a single Christmas carol? Have you heard anything that suggests that this is a special season for Christian America, or Christians in the world for that matter?
Actually, you're seeing a lot of people, certainly immigrants, Muslim immigrants, that are offended by anyone singing the national anthem. You're also seeing schools that are being absolutely cannot have any mention of Christmas. And again, I really encourage each listener across the globe tonight, rinse.com, America Losing Her Ethos. And one of the reasons, let me just define ethos. Ethos stems from the Greek word meaning character, used to describe the guiding beliefs or ideals that characterize a community or a nation. And that, everybody loves the American dream. And everybody loves America because it's been a place for the first time in history where everybody has an equal chance. All races, creeds, and colors that come to America have an extraordinary opportunity to better themselves. I've traveled all over the planet on my bicycle. I've seen more human misery than anyone can command or ever appreciate. Starving children. I mean, I've seen literally thousands of starving, 10 million children starve to death every year around the planet. Another 8 million starve to death that are adults. That's 18 million people, folks. That's bigger than the whole, that's 3 times the size of Colorado, where I live.
Yeah.
That's literally half the state of California. Those kind of death rates are unbelievably incredible. This is another fact. When my travels through Asia, India is it's adding like about 14 to 16 million people net gain every year, but it has 1,000 children die every day in India from waterborne diseases, dysentery and diarrhea and so forth.
Very filthy country. God, it's awful.
Filthy, god-awful country. And China is just a quagmire of humanity and industrial. Do you know that they have 50 lanes of traffic, and they still have blocked-up highways and 100-mile-long grid? 50. Look it up. You think I'm kidding? I can't even imagine 50 lanes of traffic.
No.
But that's what's going on, and yet people come here, African Americans that are on welfare. There's 48 million Americans on welfare and a lot of illegal aliens on welfare, but they're getting fed every day. They get to eat food. There's the millions on Section 8 housing. They get a toilet, and they get a sink, and they get clean water.
Yeah, they get a bed in the bedroom, and they get schooling, and they get medical, and they get everything you could want.
Yeah, and yet all of these people that are whining and complaining, and whether it's the Ferguson, Missouri, whether it's the Baltimore, Maryland, or whether it's the Freddie Gray, I mean, all this stuff that's going on, these people are actually blaming America and then going out and shooting cops.
Yeah.
I mean, shooting cops, the very people that are going to save you from yourselves, that's what's going on right now. And when I talk about this thing, we're literally being fractured and fragmented by all of these different world views, so much so that the American ethos, that which makes us Americans, is literally being disintegrated.
It's getting lost. It's gone.
It's exactly
fading away.
And once it's gone, again, I'll give
trying
you an
to
example.
resurrect that. No way.
Ask if you can resurrect that in Lebanon. Jeff, did you know Lebanon 30 years ago was the gem of the Mediterranean?
Yes, I do.
Oh, my gosh. Folks, I am a man.
It was called the Switzerland of the Mediterranean.
It was the gem. It was the Switzerland of the Mediterranean, and then it started importing all of these different minorities and, of course, Muslims, and then they started fighting for Sharia law. And again, I want to make this very clear. 51% in the latest poll, Muslims in America, somewhere between 5 and 7 million of them. We don't even know how many there are here now.
Right.
But 5 million at least, 7 million at the tops at this point, soon to be 10 million. 51% of them want Sharia law. In other words, they drag their god-awful religion and their god-awful barbaric practices. Again, 500,000 female genital mutilation women
Dark Ages stuff. Medieval, Dark Ages.
Dark Ages.
And it's never stopped.
It never has stopped. To think that Muslim men think it's just great to put a big black bag over their women's bodies and hide them from being a human being, hide them from being a woman, hide them from being a free and independent spirit in this world. I got to tell you, my wife she's a fireball. If you meet her, you're going to see a ready smile, you're going to see an athlete, you're going to see a dancer, you're going to see a thinker. She reads voraciously, she speaks her mind. I want my woman, I want my wife, I want my life mate to be as dynamic as she can possibly be so that she keeps me on my toes. How could you put Sandy, my wife, into a burqa and hide her face? Oh my gosh, this kind of a religion does not belong in the United States of America.
As anti-woman as it could
country.
be, and here it is, a world religion with 2.2 billion members, clearly anti-woman. Anti-woman totally. All the way. Just treats them like scum. And this is a noble religion? Come on.
You know, and it's really amazing because one of the preachers that I know here in Denver actually went to a mosque a couple of weeks ago after the San Bernardino killings, and he wanted to placate the poor Muslims that are being chastised here in America. He said, well, this great religion is really being misrepresented. I told him, I wrote him, and I said, look, dude. The Quran absolutely advocates for this kind of violence as a normal way of being, and that's why you see it all over the world right now. Notice no one is immigrating into Muslim countries. No one. You won't see anybody immigrating into Muslim countries. They're all immigrating into Western countries.
Yeah, sure.
And they're bringing their literally god-awful, god-forsaken, barbaric practices into these countries, whether it's killing of gays, whether it's female genital mutilation, whether it's honor killings, which are now part of the United States, folks, and, of course, arranged marriages of little girls. It's called pedophilia, but that's part of the Muslim way.
It is. Did you see Ann Barnhart's video I sent you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that's a must view. Everything Frosty's saying is true. Homosexuality is also a big part of that whole scene, and it's not talked about. So is bestiality. And you have here a president who's a Muslim who is homosexual. I wonder if they would hold him to account. I don't think so. He's their savior in many ways. It's just beyond belief.
Boy, do we live in interesting times.
Well, that's one way to sum it up. Hold on, Frosty.
When the Woman of the Year actually has male parts, you got to wonder what's going on in this country.
Who is this?
The Woman of the Year was Bruce Jenner. Now Caitlyn Jenner, and he's got a package.
He won't. He's not going to have the surgery. I think it's just a PR thing. He's getting old, getting out of favor, and he wanted to make himself a commodity, a marketable commodity. So he didn't even go halfway. He just played games with hormones. Back in a minute with Frosty. Hang on.
Benefits that Royal Velvet offers, but you haven't gone to the website royalvelvetnow.com. You've procrastinated. You haven't started your journey towards dramatic improvements in that vim, vigor, and energy you've always wanted. Reward yourself. You deserve it. No, really. All you have to do is go to royalvelvetnow.com, click on the rinse icon in the upper right-hand corner, and order a couple bottles of Royal Velvet, which is a month's supply, and you're on your way to experiencing the most life-changing product in the world. Oh, by the way, to experience just how powerful Royal Velvet is, do what thousands of our clients have done. Stop taking all your supplements and just take Royal Velvet. Do it for a month. You will feel better, look better, and be dramatically better. And besides being blown away by the results, you'll also be ecstatic over the huge amount of money you saved. There are 1,440 minutes in a day. It takes less than 5 minutes to place an order at royalvelvetnow.com. Go there now. Your life will never be the same.
Famous pastor Lindsey Williams.
I'm 77 years of age. I feel better than I did when I was in my 50s and 60s. I was so sick, I thought I was going to die. It relates to a product that you handle right here. Folks, you positively must, after this show, you've got to click on Carnivora. They must have it in their medicine cabinet.
Holistic MD, Dr. Robert Rowan.
I summarized the work of Dr. Helmut Keller, what he found in carnivora and why it might be able to do so many wonderful things. A lot of patients got better. They literally do miracles for a wide variety of conditions, from infection to autoimmune conditions and beyond that.
Visit carnivora.com, carnivora.com, or call 1-866-VENUS-FLY. That's 1-866-VENUS-FLY. Used by President Reagan successfully in 1985.
As everyone can see, we could be hours or minutes away from a national crisis. Are you ready? 99% aren't. So let's get you and those you care about up to speed. In an emergency, calories mean survival. You need 2,000 calories per day under ideal conditions, and Ready Supply Foods gives you the most calories per dollar of any company. Ready Supply Foods provides you with 245 calories per dollar, while the other companies average only 155. And with Ready Supply Foods, you'll get over 50% more food for your money. Many companies try to confuse you with the number of servings they sell, but it's not about the number of servings. It's about the number of calories. Ready Supply Foods are GMO-free, have a 25-year shelf life, taste great, and you get free shipping. That's ReadySupplyFoods.com. More calories per dollar and get 50% more food for your money. Let me ask you again, Frosty. I don't think we got around to dealing with the question. When you have gone out, have you sensed or felt any... Remember when you were a kid? The season? Everywhere you went, there were little reminders and Christmas carols, Christmas music. I don't know that... I haven't seen any to speak of.
Well, there's no question that we're being stopped from showing the nativity scene. And if you notice, even my rec center, the employees of the rec center where I work out, and I work out 6 days a week, and I know everybody, and they are instructed to say Happy Holidays, and I always, of course, say Merry Christmas.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, that's an automatic. Everything. If you go to any cashier at a grocery store, it's now Happy Holidays.
Yeah, they've all been indoctrinated, instructed, and they could lose their job otherwise.
They could lose their job. And again, that's what I'm talking about, losing the character of our country. And again, as I say each time on this show, and have for the last 15 years, we are losing the character, the essence, the ethos of America. And in the last, 40 years, we imported 100 million people to this country from all over the world, 190 countries. We're about to bring in another 100 million immigrants within 30 years. Within 30 years. I mean, that is a fact. That's a demographic fact unless the 1965 Immigration Reform Act is rescinded, which I'm working for. As you see in my columns, you always see that big sign, Immigration Shut Down Now. You can even get T-shirts and logos off the website that I created. And the key is we need a national discussion. We need to shut down all immigration because we're not going to make it through this thing sociologically. We're not going to make it through with our own, our ethos, because we're about to import 100 million people with 190 different worldviews, 190 different cultures, 190 different religious and contextual aspects of religion, because there's as many different dialects of religion as there are. I mean, Sunnis, then you got the Kurds, then you got the Shias. Well, they're all Muslims, but then you got the Pakistanis, you got the Kurdistanis, You've got all these different aspects, and of course they all like to fight each other. And we're injecting that into our own country. How stupid are we? And as I ask these questions, and my wife does the editing. She's a great editor about all of my columns, and sometimes she says, "Boy, this is pretty harsh." I said, "I haven't even begun to be harsh. I'm just bringing in the facts."
No, it's not harsh, Frosty. It's the truth. You've got to tell
one
the
lady
truth.
out on the East Coast said, "Well, you're just a hate. You're spreading hate."
Oh yeah.
No,
of course. Tell the truth and be a hate monger. Yeah, right.
But that's the first thing they want to do.
She lives in denial. That's okay. That kind of mind you can't reach. You cannot reach it.
Yeah, and you really can't. And again, for those of you who are frustrated beyond belief, again, please join the organizations that you see and get that Roy Beck video out to everyone you know, because we have to change the national consciousness. Immigration, Gumballs and Poverty by Roy Beck, and the 10-minute one is called Immigration Off the Charts, shows what it's going to look like with another 100 million and then a total of 600 million before the end of the century. capsweb.org with Joanne Weidman. Join these organizations for free, become one of the faxers and phone callers, and start flooding all of Washington with your anger, with your frustration, and with your voice. That's the key, because this constitutional republic, as Jeff and I have said, we have nothing but corrupt career politicians like John McCain, like Charles Schumer, like Orrin Hatch, like Fox, Boxer and Feinstein, and you just go right down the line. Even here, my own Udall was horrible. Bennett is now horrible. Cory Gardner, F- on the immigration stuff. That's both. Cory Gardner from Colorado is a Republican. He hasn't done squat in the last year to secure our borders. And in fact, Bennett makes more excuses for Muslims and Mexicans and all these illegals that are in our country than he does for American citizens. So you have got to collectivize your power and your voice and start joining these organizations and give them the power to make more change there in Washington. I can tell you right now, there's over 2 million in numbersusa.org with Roy Beck, and I mean 2 million voices is powerful. Capsweb.org, that's CAPSWEB.org with Joanne Weidman. We're starting to make huge, and FAIR, of course, FAIRUS.org, that's the Federation for American Immigration Reform, are really starting to make impact, because we got about 3 million people, and that's a lot of voices. How about making it 10 million people so we can literally drive this thing? I'll give you an example, and you can tell I'm a little bit excited and frustrated and in many ways despaired. This last Sunday, the Denver Post wrote, John Murray wrote an absurd article about the traffic jams and the air pollution that's part of the Denver traffic right now, and he says it's called Brake Lights Ahead. Just wait a decade or two. Lemmings let themselves overpopulate, and they then go off and run off the cliff because they don't have any food, and they go drive themselves crazy every 4 years. Sure. Well, Easter Island is a telltale that humanity never learns from history. That's what we learned from Easter Island. That island at one point had over 30,000 people living fantastic lives, and then they cut down all the trees, and then they ended up, after warfare and all the other stuff that went with it, with less than 111 people that were left after all of the disease and so forth. Well, we're headed in the same direction. And so I'm asking every critical thinking, loyal American citizen to get off your duff and get away from the NFL football game and start calling, because you have the tools. I give you the tools in my columns. And to start this national discussion, we have got to stop endless and mass immigration to America, or we become the next Easter Island. That is a guaranteed biological reality. The Mayans faced it. The Romans faced it. The Persians faced it. I mean, every country, every civilization that's overwhelmed itself with too many people, whether through immigration or its own fecundity rates, paid a severe price, and we're headed exactly over that demographic cliff as I speak. That's
tell us what you really think, Frosty.
That's let me give you an emotional part of how I feel. I really try to bring an intellectually reasoned approach to this.
Oh, you do that in spades. And
thank you. Yeah. But also, do you feel my passion for our country? Do you feel my exasperation for what's going on? And if you feel both of those, then let's join together as American citizens, black, white, brown, red, yellow, I don't care. We have got to preserve and save our civilization for our children. I got 2 boys. I want them and their kids to have a life, to have a viability, to have sustainability, to have clean air to breathe. And the way we're going right now, that's not going to be there for their kids. We're tearing apart nature. We're ripping down. I mean, our water systems are going broke.
Well, the whole country is falling apart. Literally, the infrastructure is disintegrating. Yeah.
That's exactly right. So please, take my passion, take my exasperation, take
your
my
frustration,
energy,
and your hope,
frustration.
and your instructions and guidance on how we have no choice, how we have to confront this issue.
That's it. We have to confront it. I will do everything. I'm still trying to, it's called 60M, 60M at cbsnews.com. What if 10,000 of you wrote 60 Minutes and told them that you want a discussion on overpopulation? Frosty Wooldridge will represent the American people and the facts that we cannot sustain another 100 million immigrants into our country.
Oh, my God, no.
We can't.
No.
And so if you all tonight, 60M at cbsnews.com, write a letter and tell them if it's not Frosty Wooldridge, then it could be Roy Beck, it could be Joanne Weidman, it could be Dr. Diana Hull, it could be Kathleen Parker from New Mexico.
These people should be totally ashamed of their handling of this situation. Your message, the plight we're in, what's being done to this country, but they are controlled by the people who are behind it, and they can't. Not to excuse them, but they're not professional journalists. They're professional hacks.
In fact, I wrote the Denver Post, and I said this was the most perniciously stupid article because I've offered myself to John Murray for interviews. I've offered myself to Vince Carroll, Dean Singleton, and Barbara Ellis at the Denver Post for 20 years. Guess what? They won't allow one single column from me because they don't want the facts shared with the Colorado people. We in Colorado are about to go from 5.1 million with our water shortages right now to 10 million within 30 years. And they won't...
there'll be no water long before then. Before then. How's your snowpack, by the way?
It's just starting to come up pretty well right now. But again, when you add another 5 million people, I don't care what the snowpack is. There's no way to fill the reservoirs enough to have water for all of us. So again,
where are they going to live? Where are they going to live?
Well, what are you going to have for water to drink, air to breathe? And
shelter to live in and occupy, businesses to patronize and work in. I don't see it happening. It's all entitlement. Entitlement is the future for these people. That's what they think about. What do I get from the government this month? How much can I score?
Right. How much?
It's grim.
It is.
Really
and
grim.
Yet, through all of this, each of you, this is your watch, this is your time. And let's stand together on this thing. Black, white, brown, yellow, red, it doesn't make any difference. This is our country. This is our society. And if you want a Merry Christmas in the future, not only for yourself and your kids, you have got to take action in the year 2016 more than you ever have any time in your life. I will go with you. I will keep speaking up. I will get on 60 Minutes. We'll force Leslie Stahl to be sitting right across from me, and I'm going to spell it out for Leslie Stahl or Steve Kraft or any of them, Scott Pelley. I will spell it out and tell them exactly what we're facing, and let's change course, and let's do it together. Let's do it collectively. So
couldn't be said any better, Frosty.
Thank you so much. I wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you and to your lovely wife, and you guys have fun. All right? Take care.
We will. We're going to attend church tomorrow night, and we're going to celebrate with I wish you a Merry Christmas, and I wish all of you a Merry Christmas, and we got to get busy in 2016. This issue must be the single greatest issue
It's our last
facing
chance.
America.
It's our last chance next year.
It's our last chance. That's exactly correct, Jeff.
Okay, my friend. Take care.
God bless and Godspeed.
Thanks, Frosty. Frosty Wooldridge, and you can find all of his material on the left-hand side of Rense.com, his articles and his adventure stories, and they're really wonderful reading, on the left-hand side at Rense. Be right back with Hour 3 in just a few minutes. Hold on. By you being there, I hope you'll drop by and visit GoHealthyNext.com and take a look. The prices are more than affordable, and the results are priceless. That's GoHealthyNext.com.
Known worldwide as the most consistently fascinating, informative, and unique program on radio, the Jeff Rense program can be yours to listen to anytime, anywhere, whenever you want to hear it. For pennies a day, our subscribers can download any of Jeff's thousands of programs featuring a treasury of newsmakers, researchers, eyewitnesses, and incredible subjects, all in MP3 commercial-free, crystal-clear 56-bit digital sound, and take these often unforgettable programs with them wherever they go. As a subscriber, you can also listen live at airtime, online, anywhere in the world, or browse through our archives of over 6,000 hours of legendary broadcasts. Subscribe now by taking the link at the top of Rense.com and enrich your mind with the most unique panorama of vital information and the best independent, honest journalism in radio. Look for the Subscribe Now link on Rense.com and give yourself the knowledge you need for these unprecedented times. You're listening to the Rense Radio Network, nationwide and worldwide on the net.